Rambam goes like this in Aracha Yud Aleph. Akorei mavcha lo yatsa. Someone reads the Shema out of order, did not fulfill his obligation. B'mei devarim amorim. When do we say that? B'seder hapsukim. If he reads the psukim in a different order. But if he did one parasha before another one, for example, let's say he said ve'aya, and then he says ve'ahavta, and then he says vayomer, or he switched the order. So the Rambam says that the person will still fulfill his obligation, even though it's not good that he does that, because in the Torah it's not written in order. If someone read a pasuk and then you read it again another time, he said this is megune. It's not good to do that, to repeat a pasuk.
It's like a wasted prayer, is that?
Right, and then also it's let's say for the Shema, if you repeat Shema twice, Chadasham is as if someone's saying like there's like two, exactly. Okay. So that's why the Gemara says, oh, what if
it's like someone that says what's it called, Modim Anachnulach. He says like Modim twice. Same vibe, no?
Exactly, that's the Gemara. It says that. Why does it say that? It says that, and so now it says, what if the person makes a mistake? He did not have the proper concentration. The Gemara says, oh, what do you mean he didn't have the proper concentration? Yeah, it can't be that he didn't have. He says Shema didn't have the proper concentration.
It's the one place where you have the most concentration.
Exactly. And therefore, they say that of course you can't repeat it. So let's continue. The Rambam goes on. He says, someone read one word and then you repeat it after. Shema. For example, he says Shema mishatinoto. So we have to silence it. If a person reads and he takes pauses in between. Even if he took a long amount of time, that would be enough for him to read the whole Shema. So let's say he read like 2 psukim and then he waited 5 minutes, right? So he's still yotze, but this only if he read it in the proper order. But if now it was mitnamnem, he was like falling asleep, he was drowsy. And someone who was like sleeping, wasn't fully awake, and did not fully get up, he's yotze. As long as for the first pasuk he's awake, then even if you read the whole thing while being drowsy is okay.
So my question would be, if now let's say that someone is reading like a pasuk and he's like in the middle of it, and then there's an emergency that like it's like there's like something, he has to go do it quick, and then he's back and he's still like in the Zman. Does he continue from where he left off, or does he restart, or does he go to the next one? How does it work?
So this is going to depend the emergency. Then
like a life or death. Let's say like
life or death. Then
there's a kid that's about to touch the stove.
Yeah. So then you can continue from where you left off. Yes. Okay. But in general, a person should not.
I mean that's like the absolute
exactly
worst case.
For sure. Alacha Yud Gimel, right? Safek Ra Kirat Shema. Now he has a doubt if he read Kirat Shema. Safek Lo Kara. He has a doubt he didn't read it. So he has to read it again and say the brachot. Why? But when but for this only for laws that are derabanan. Whenever you have a doubt, you don't do it again, right? But if you have a doubt and it's a Torah law, then you have to repeat it again. So, for example, you're not sure if you did, I don't know, you did a certain let's say Birkat Hamazon, you'll have to redo Birkat Hamazon.
But like I would think that in general it would be better to, if you have a doubt, to always redo it, because it's better that you did it twice than not doing it at all, right?
If you have a doubt
now, and now you're like, okay, I would think logically it's better to do it twice than not doing it at all.
So this one you're doing it again, but here let's say for example you're not sure you did Shahakol, you're not sure if you did the brachas. Now if you repeat it, you do bracha levatala. So that's why the Chachamim, they say no. If we have a doubt when it's rabbinic, you don't repeat. But when it's from the Torah, then you repeat because you have the mitzvah. There's a mitzvah. So that's the difference. Understand?
Yes and no.
Because if you eat, let's say an apple, doing the bracha is only from rabbinic. Yes. Therefore, if you do the bracha again, but you already did the bracha, then you're using Hashem's name in vain.
Yeah, but if you didn't do the bracha, then you're not doing it in vain.
No, but then that's
goes both ways.
No, but then. Exactly, but then it's worse. It's worse to do a Yisur from the Torah to take Hashem's names in vain than to do a rabbinic mitzvah to sing the bracha. So therefore, the Chachamim they said if you have a doubt, safek brachot lehakel. Whenever you have a doubt that you made a bracha or not, you're always going to be lenient and not say it again, unless it's from the Torah. So let's say here the Shema he says to repeat it, or he says, for example, ברכת המזון. אבל אם ידע שגרש וינספק לו אם ברך לפניו לאחרה, ולא ברך אינה חוזר מברך. But now if he only has a doubt regarding the brachot, he knows for sure he said the Shema, so now he does not have to go or repeat the brachot. Because again, the brachot are also, then it falls into that same case. Because
These brachot here, that's for the Shema, they're also
rabbinic, right,
rabbinic.
exactly.
Okay,
So if you
well,
have a
then-
doubt, he doesn't do it.
Okay.
If he read and he made a mistake, he has to return to the place he made a mistake. If he was confused between one parasha to another, and he did not know, he doesn't know which one he finished, right?
Mhm.
He doesn't know which one to restart with. So should restart from the beginning. So if he got messed up and he doesn't know where he is, then he
Just
repeats
restart.
from the beginning. הלכה י"ד, טעה באמצע הפרק ואינו יודע להיכן פס, רק חוזר לראש הפרק. If you made a mistake in the middle of the perek, right, in the middle of the section, and he doesn't know, ואינו יודע להיכן פס, he doesn't know where he stopped, חוזר לראש הפרק, so he has to return from the beginning. היה קורא וכתבתם ואינו יודע אם הוא וכתבתם של שמה.
So that's if he's in the middle of the perek. So
in
let's
the
say
middle
he's
of the
like,
ואהבת את השם אלוקיך,
yeah,
והיו, and then he has an emergency or something.
and then he forgets that he was at value.
Exactly, he's not sure. Exactly, he's not sure. Then he starts.
But if he does remember after the
Then he
break, then he
continues
goes back
from
from that word.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right. So for now, another case is what? There's two times written ucht aftam. One, it's ucht aftam in the Shema, and one ucht aftam v've'aya.
Yeah,
Right?
the
Shema
second
is
part, yeah.
okay. So it says, im shamoah chozer ucht aftam shel Shema. So if you're not sure, then you have to go back to the first ucht aftam, right? Because you have a doubt, so you go to the more stringent one. So you start from the beginning. If now you already said limani bui mechem, right?
Mhm.
So then the Rambam says no. Since a person goes according to his ergel, according to his regular way that he's doing. So if he said limani bui mechem, it means automatically that he did it correctly.
Okay.
Because he will not just go
Yeah.
read
Just
it
like,
and mix it like that.
yeah.
Right? הלכה ט"ו. היה קורא ופגע באחרים. Now he's reading and someone approached him. או פגעו בו אחרים, or many people went and approached him. No, he went and he approached people, or
Okay.
people approached him.
Okay.
אם היה בין פרק לפרק, if he was between sections, פוסק ומתחיל. So he stops and he starts ושואל שלום. So he can go and ask, ושואל שלום מישהו חייב, בכבודו, כגון שפגע באביו או רבו. So anyone, let's say he's walking on the way, and he has to say hello, let's say, to people that he owes them kavod. For example, his father or his rabbi. So his father or his rabbi is going to stop in the middle of the perek and he's going to say hello.
So if you're in the middle of it and there's your rabbi that walks by, you're supposed to stop and say hello?
No, if he's between the two prakim, right? It's not if he's in the perek itself. So if he's
If he's in between the two.
Ve'afta ve'aya, so he didn't start ve'aya yet. Now he sees his rabbi, or
He has to give him the kavod
he has to
before
say hello.
Yeah.
He has to say
No,
hello.
I know. I'm saying he has to give him that, and then after he could continue.
Exactly.
Okay.
or מישהו גדול ממנו בחוכמה, or if someone is a תלמיד חכם, he's greater than him in חוכמה. ושיש שלום לכל אדם שנתן לו שלום. And also you can answer anybody who says shalom to him. But you're not allowed to go, let's say you see your friend, you don't say hello to him.
Yeah. It's only someone that you owe kavod.
You owe kavod to, exactly. לאחת ט"ז, היה קורא באמצע הפרשה אינו פוסק ומתחיל לשאול אלא בשלום מישהו מתיירא ממנו כגון מלך או אנס חוסה בהם. Right? So if a person is reading now the Shema, and now he's in the middle of the perek, right? So he's in the actual, we said the street chakim.
Yeah.
He's in the middle of one. So והיו עם שמות, והיו וכתבתם במזל ביתך ושייך. He's right before that. And then he's וכתבתם, and then boom, someone shows up. So he cannot say hello unless it's someone who has fear, right? Someone you have to fear, or not only that you have to fear, that you're afraid of. For example, a king, or you have a anas, you have a tyrant, you have someone like a big shot, a mafia man.
Mhm.
That if you don't answer, he can
kill you.
Yeah, exactly. So then these people, even in the middle of the perek, you can answer them.
Okay.
אבל מישהו חייב לכבודו כגון אביו או רבו, אם נתן לו שלום תחילה פוסק ומשיב לו לשלום. But now if it was his father or his rabbi, they said hi to him, then he can stop also and say hi. But he doesn't say hi to them first.
Okay.
But in the previous case,
that's only if he's in the middle, though.
in the middle of the perek.
Exactly.
This is what we're saying when we're doing in the middle of the prakim. So between the first and the second bracha. Ben shniya lishema. Then between the first because this even the brachot are included in it in the separation. So we see within the first bracha to the second bracha, in the middle of it, then you can say all those things that we said. Ben shniya lishema, and then within the second bracha until the shema, there's another separation. Ben shema live'aya im shamoa, ben ve'aya im shamoa levayomer, and then between ve'aya im shamoa till vayomer.
So it's like basically each like paragraph.
So like five separations.
Okay.
So in between the prakim, you can say hello to the people that you owe kavod to, and you can answer to everybody. But between vayomer and emet ve'yatziv, and therefore, but if it's ben vayomer and emet, that you're not allowed to stop, then you're allowed to answer only if it's someone that you have fear of, or you answer someone that you owe kavod to. So if they say hello to you, you have to stop and say hello to. פרק ג' הלכה א' הקורא את שמע ורוחץ ידיו במים קודם שיקרא, הגיע הזמן קריאתם בלומת המים, קודם שיקרא לא יאחר קריאתה וילך לבקש מים אלא מקנח ידיו בעפר או בצרור או בקורה וכיוצא בין וקורא. Now a person who has to read the Shema, he has to wash his hands before, right? And if now the time of the Shema came and did not find water, and he's scared that if he's going to find water, right, the time will pass. So you should not delay, right? If now the time arrived and right, you cannot find water right away, you should not delay and should read the Shema right away. So he has to wash his hands on the earth or on a stone or on wood, whatever, or even on a table. It goes like this, or on a white something, and then you can read the Shema. Halacha bet. A person is not allowed to read in the Bet HaMechaz inside the bathhouse.
One question
Yes.
for the last one. So would that also apply to washing your hands if you're gonna eat bread? If you have no source of like water, you're like somewhere and you have bread and then you have no clean water.
Right. So this
can you also do that?
Yes, but then we're going to see that.
But I'm saying really a case where there's no water, not even that it's going to be late. There's there's no water.
No, if there's no, because usually it says that in forward you have to go. I think it's 4 meal. So you have to go like a distance of like 72 minutes, and backward you have to go a distance of 12 minutes because you're on the way to go somewhere. So meaning that it's really in extreme cases where you can't stop at any we can buy a water bottle somewhere, or you can't stop anywhere.
Okay, so
you're really stuck somewhere.
So it's really if let's say you're you're in the middle of a hike in the middle of nowhere, your bottled water flies somewhere, you can't find it.
Exactly, and then it will take you a long time to get the water, and this would be permitted. So
it's less lenient than this.
Exactly, this is more exactly because then you're gonna miss the time.
Yeah.
But here, exactly, it's much. It's really okay. Very good question. I'm going over you're not allowed to read the Shema inside the bathhouse or inside the bathroom. Even though there's no there's no feces inside the bathroom. You're not allowed to read in the Shema in a cemetery. And you're not allowed to read it next to a corpse. But if you separated yourself 4 amot, so 2 meters, from the grave, or minamet, or from the dead, you're allowed to read. And anyone who recites the Shema in a place that he's not allowed to, he has to return and read the Shema again.
Okay, so here it's very interesting because it said that you're not supposed to read inside of a cemetery, but if you're away from the grave, then it's fine. But then why say the whole cemetery if we know that a lot of spots inside of the cemetery are 4 amot away from the graves? You know what I mean? Why not just say
because
next to a grave instead of saying the whole cemetery? Because in the whole cemetery there's a lot of spots where you could do it, as just mentioned.
Right, I understand. So maybe you can say that it's not necessarily in a graveyard. Maybe you're just next to a grave, but it's not inside the graveyard with everybody. Maybe, or maybe what you can say also is that because here it says that when you separate yourself 4 amot, this is where I guess maybe in the cemetery the problem is that everywhere would be 4 amot. You know.
Yeah, I mean for sure.
Because if you're 4 amot from any dead.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 meters. You have to be away from all the dead. So it could be that if you're 2 meters away from all directions, then you can read it. It could be.
But in the center, it's hard. It's unlikely. Therefore, he's saying
exactly if you don't separate, because it says because this is considered like if someone is mocking mocking the dead, because the dead can't do any more mitzvot. Now you do mitzvot, even you're not supposed to have tzitzit that are hanging or have tefillin inside the cemetery. There's some laws like that.
So you're like supposed to like tuck them in when you're at a cemetery?
Yes.
Wow. So then like this like applies for all of the mitzvot or for just for like certain mitzvot? Because if someone
in general,
water or whatever, something like that, he doesn't need to like sing sing like a bracha.
Well, in general, there's not really other mitzvot you can do in the cemetery. Brachot is a good question, and we'll have to double check for that. Okay, let's continue. Okay, הלכה ג' בית הכיסא החדש שהוכן ועדיין לא נשתמש בו מותר לקרוא קריאת שמע נגדו אבל לא בתוכו. If you have a new bathroom that was never used, you're allowed to read the Shema next to it, but not inside the bathroom. בחצר חדש מותר לקחות בתוכו. But if it's a new bathhouse, you're allowed to read in there if it was never used. היו שני בתים זימן אחד מהם לבית הכיסא ואמר על השני וזה הרי השני ספק אם יזמינו לכך אם לא. Now a person he has two buildings, right? One is for the bathroom, and the other he says and this, but he did not finish his sentence. So now הרי השני ספק, there's a ספק what it will be with this other bath, if it will be considered a bathroom or not. לפיכך אין אם יזמינו לכך או אם לא, לפיכך אין קוראים בו לכתחילה, therefore לכתחילה you should not read it, ואם קרא יצא, but if you did it after the fact, it will be mutar. So a person has he has two buildings he made, and he wants to make two bathrooms, right? So he designated that place to be a bathroom. So now he said this will be a bathroom and this. So now the one he says this will be a bathroom, you cannot say the Shema there. Right? And the one that he says, and this, there's a suffix if you can say it, because he says, and this, but he did not finish the sentence.
He didn't specify.
Exactly. He just says, and this. So therefore, the Rambam says that if you read it, you're yotzeh, but if you should not read it.
But if someone now, let's say that went there in that bathroom that he just said this and used it as the bathroom, then would that make it that he can't do it at all? Or just the fact that he didn't like say that it is, so that's enough to be like, okay, like he's yotzeh? Because we said earlier, that if it's a new bathhouse, then he's fine. So if this, now he didn't say that it's he said this, but someone used it as a bathroom. Now, does that become officially a bathroom, or is it still following?
No, the fact even it was never used, it was only this will be a bathroom. Not say the Shema in that place.
No, I know that. I'm talking
about
when he said this. When he said this,
yes.
Right? Now this, we say that if he goes in, he's yotzeh, right? He did the mitzvah, it's fine. He's not supposed to, but it's fine. He did it. But if someone now went in and used it, okay, and used it as a bathroom, this place, okay,
yeah, for sure, then it doesn't work.
Then for sure it doesn't work. For sure, like it's
yes,
then,
it wouldn't work.
Okay.
Okay. Let's continue. הלכה ד'
No, we're
הרי על שני ספק אם יזמינו לכך אם לא. ויפרח אם קוראים ברכות תחילה אם כבר יצא. אמר גם זה הרי שניהם מזומנים ואין קוראים בהן. But if he said this also, he didn't say and this, he said this also, and both of them are considered to be as considered for bathroom. It's going to be אסור. חצר המחס והוא המקום שבני אדם עומדים בו לבושים מותר לקרוא בו קריאת שמע. Now, if that's it is in the courtyard of the bathhouse, that it's not inside where this is where the people still have their clothes on. Right? It's like the entrance of the bathhouse. Then you're allowed to read קריאת שמע there. הלכה ד' ולא קריאת שמע בלבד אלא כל עניין שהוא מדברי הקודש אסור לאמרו בבית המכרז ולגזר ולא אמרו בלשון חול. And anything that is not only קריאת שמע, anything that is kadosh, right? Anything that has sanctity, like learning Torah or doing tefillah, so to be, even if you say it in another language inside a bathroom or inside a bathhouse. So not only speech, but even thoughts pertaining to the words of Torah are forbidden in a bathhouse or inside a bathroom, and any unclean places. So if let's say you're next to a diaper or things like that, it'll all be asur.
And like me, I would assume that it includes like anything that's also written. So like any like sefer.
Well, of course, to read anything.
No, I'm saying like even to just read, to just have the sefer in there, you know.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Well, it's not kavod. And then it says and also the place tinofet is where you have feces, or you have urine that's there. So this also will be a problem. So with diapers, you have to be careful. Let's say you're praying at home, or let's say you're doing anything at home, just to make sure around that there's no. We're going to see later in the laws of there's things that you have to double check before you're able to read. Let's say to do your tefillah. דברים של חול מותר למרן בלשון קודש בבית הכיסא. So here we said even thinking is asur. Right? דברים של חול מותר למרן בלשון קודש בבית הכיסא. Things that are chol, you're allowed to say it in Hebrew inside the bathroom. Also using all the divine like names to express the divine attributes like merciful, gracious, faithful, and anything similar, you're allowed to say in the bathroom. Any names of Hashem that you're not allowed to erase, and they are special. It's meant to say them in the bathroom, and to say it inside the bathhouse, yashan, in an old bathhouse, meaning that it was already used as a bathhouse. But if now there's a situation where it arises that you can refrain someone from doing an avera, then even if you have to use Hebrew or you have to use anything that's holy, you're allowed to say it and there won't be any problem. Right? Because you see someone doing an avera, so you have to use so we have a case in Mechsat Shabbat with Rabbi Meir that there was someone who was willing to do an avera inside the bathhouse. So Rabbi Meir told him halacha inside the bathhouse, and so seemingly it's not allowed, but we're saying that it's allowed since it's to prevent someone from doing an avera. Halacha Vav. צורת האדם וצורת כלבים וחזירים בזמן שיש בתוכן אורות בכל צורה שריחה רע, so כגון אלו אסור לקרוא קריאת שמע כנגדן. So the feces of a human and of dogs and of pigs בזמן שיש בתוכן אורות, in the time that they have there's I guess in the time that they're good enough that you can put skins in there. They used to use it to make to prepare the, right? And any other so all of these and any other feces that have a bad smell, it's forbidden to read Shema next to them. And also if it's in front of urine of a man, so let's say there was next to a bathroom, or let's say there's a diaper, but if it was urine from animals, you're allowed to read in front of them. Now if, very interesting, if now you have a child and he's not able to eat kazait, he's not able to eat the volume of an olive of grain, right? In the same time that it would take for an adult to eat an amount of 3 eggs, so let's say in 4 minutes or 5 minutes, 7 minutes, depending on the opinions, that it takes for an adult to eat 3 eggs, the kid can't eat a kazait of dagan, right, of cereals. So he's very young. Sometimes they can't even eat, and so you just give him the bottle, and therefore his bathroom or it will not be considered bad enough for you to have to move, because we say it's as if it's the food that causes the.
Okay, it's like since he's not eating food like like a proper a person, so we don't consider his defecation like the one of a
right, exactly. So, but I'm not sure if I'm not sure how the halacha goes today for that. Okay, let's continue. So this we have to check. Of course, the best is if you can just remove it. Is the best.
Of course.
Okay, but we see that there's a leniency for it if you don't have a choice. If you have feces that were dry, like a cheres, like a piece of wood or a piece of clay, it's forbidden to read in front of it. If it was even more dry than that, and it will be like solid, like, and it will be made like in a powder. If it was squeezed, then it's not considered so anymore, and you can read in front of it. And now if a person had to go to the bathroom and he did, let's say there was urine on the floor, and he's not allowed to read Shema in front of it. If they're able to wet something else, right? If let's say he puts his hand on it, it would wet his hand. It would not do it. But if not, it will be mutar, right? Because sometimes something can be wet, but it's not enough to wet your hands, right? Because it's really like it already dried up a lot.
Okay, so now the question is, because now we're like obviously in Kriyat Shema, but would this apply to all of the brachot or just the Kriyat Shema specifically? Because now we're learning about Kriyat Shema, so I don't want to know if it applies to more than just that.
So of course, there's going to be a lot of also like in general, the general rule is that for brachot we also have to be careful not to read them in places that. And
now when we say that it's like a bracha, we say that it's from like the Ramanan, or it's or it's on the bottom. So I mean, because now we're saying that it's since it's like the Shema, that it's from like the Torah. So now does that apply all of the brachot of the Torah or also the brachot of the Rabbanan, like what's it called, genre Mezonot or genre Shakol, you know?
That's a very good question. So we're gonna see exactly the halachot with this. So far now we're only speaking about the actual Kriyat Shema and also Davar Shebekdusha. Now I have to see what categories fall inside this category, but we have to be even more stringent.
Oh wait, there's even more stringent than this?
No, this is the most stringent.
This is the most stringent.
Exactly.
Okay.
So usually either it's going to be the same or it's going to be in
less.
Less. Okay, halacha het. Kama yachik, yes? Okay. Kama yachik adam mitzvah u'meragleim. How far does he have to remove himself from mitzvah u'meragleim? V'achkach yikhan after he can read 400. He has to distance himself 2 meters. We say that when it's on his back or on his side. You can get but if it was in front of him, he has to remove himself till he can't see it. So if it's in son champ de vision,
eyesight,
even if it's là-bas tout au fond, he can't pray. So if, let's say the garbage can is there, and you put bad things there, like so, things like that, then you have to make sure to remove the garbage from that place. We say that and when do we say that? So when we say that, when it was inside the house, in the same level. But if it was on another level, it was 10 tefachim higher. So it wasn't it was 10 tefachim lower. So he said he goes on the side because since there's a distance of 10 tefachim, so he doesn't have to go 2 meters away. So he just turns himself, and it's
he's far enough already.
Well, it's considered a different reshut, so it's not in this. He's not in the same
so
level.
If you're like elevated, then it's not even about the
if they're higher or lower.
It's more
right. If he's higher or lower than him, then he would not have to go and separate himself. Separate himself. Of course, he cannot have the smell, so it goes with the smell
and the vision.
And the vision, exactly. And this Rambam, he just said that if it doesn't have a bad smell, if he puts a kili on top of it, or on top of the miraglaim, it's good, the miraglaim. Even though they're in the room with them, since he covered them, then they're considered as if they were buried, and he's allowed to read next to it. Okay, halacha yud. Aya beno ben atzor. If there was between him and the tzua mechitza. It was a mechitza shel zechurit. It was a glass partition. Even though you can see it from the glass, he's allowed to read on the side. If you put a revit of water on top of the miraglaim, shel pam achat, so he threw it inside. He threw it on top of the water. He put like 86 milliliters on top of the miraglaim with water. So you can still read within 4 amot.
Can you re-explain that? I didn't.
So
I'm not trying to.
So if, let's say you take a keli. Now let's say there was urine somewhere. Now you want to pray there. So and let's say there's so it's there. So what can you do? You can take a keli, you fill it up, and you throw it on top.
So like wash it out.
Yes, you wash it out, but it has to be in one shot. If you do it in one shot, then then you can read. It's like you're canceling out the urine, and you can read.
So that's only when it comes to urine, not when it comes to also poop.
Right, exactly. This will be like we said. We have to cover it.
Okay.
Chazak.
I'm happy that we're